I think your Instagram when we started was about 2,400 people.
I would say even 22.
What's it at today?
We'll hit probably by the end of the day 77,000. I have never seen a return that fast on anything. I wouldn't have even imagined what we invested into this versus what we got out of it is just still blows my mind.
What's up? I'm here with Josh and Jesse from Dirty Dog Farm in Hudson Valley, New York. And we're going to talk about our work together and how it's been going. So just to give a little bit of context on Dirty Dog, they are a direct-to-consumer e-commerce meat company, regeneratively raised cattle mostly. They came in as one of my private clients, and we've been working together for, I think, 3 months now, give or take. I think we started working around midsummer. And we just want to kind of walk through what we've been doing, what's been going on. So if you guys could just start off by just, telling us, before we started working together, what was business like? Like, just give everyone kind of the rundown of what was going on, and what you guys were experiencing.
Before we started working with Chris, our business was growing. It was growing every year, but it felt very stressful to grow our sales. It felt like every month it was an all-out task to hit what we needed to hit to get new customers, to try to grow the business. We never had cash flow to the point that we felt like we could make big investments and stuff and really get our systems dialed out. It was really just like, for us, it was how do we sell the next cow? And it felt like that all the time. Every week was just, how do we make the next sale? We could never really get ahead of it and get out of this constant, like, slow pulling teeth kind of growth cycle that we were in. It took a lot of time. The amount of time and effort that we put into like sales and marketing and stuff compared to the new revenue that we were generating was just not sustainable. And we started working with Chris because we felt like we had some good stuff going on with our business, with our customers, with our product, and we just thought we needed someone to tell us what to do next on the marketing side, to give us a playbook that we could just execute consistently. And he did that, and we could not be happier with the results so far.
Yeah, it felt like before we started working with Chris, we were spinning our tires a lot of weeks, getting like incremental gains and then nothing, and then maybe a little bit more gains and then nothing. And then it was almost like as soon as we implemented his ideas and his strategies, it was immediately like the returns were worth the effort. It was actually less effort for more returns.
What was like the first 30 days like? Give everyone a rundown of that.
Oh my God. The first 30 days was pretty crazy. I mean, the business exploded in the best way possible 2 weeks into, maybe 3 weeks into just taking Chris's advice seriously and doing the things every day that we were supposed to do. And one, it gave us more confidence that we were heading in the right direction. Like, that was immediate. And then 2 or 3 weeks into that, all of the marketing clicked together. We went viral. I have never seen a return that fast on anything. And now we've far surpassed what we invested into this part of the business, into the marketing part of the business. Like, we've made our money back and then some. And now it's just like a rocket ship, honestly. And that all happened in the first 30 days. I don't want to oversell it for anybody else and say that everybody should expect anything like that from any kind of marketing program. But this was just, I'm a true believer now. Like, there's no way around it.
Yeah, we are probably like a results not typical disclaimer. At this point, sales and marketing is the least bottleneck that we have. Now we don't have time on the fulfillment side, or we don't have the product to keep up with the number of just inbound people who want to buy beef from us. And I think I don't mind sharing to give everyone a sense of context. Before we started working with Chris, the first half of this year, we averaged about 20K a month in revenue. And I think our best month was maybe 27 or 28. And since we started working with Chris, we had our first 30K month, we had our first 40K month, and we had our first $100,000 month, which is, that was half of a year of revenue. So could not possibly have gone better. And really the only reason it wasn't even better was because in our industry, we aren't able to scale the product and fulfillment side fast enough to keep up with the possible revenue growth.
I definitely want to echo the results are definitely not typical. Like, I knew what we were going to do was going to work. It's just a few simple strategies, right? It's like, do we have a front end offer that we could run ads to? Are we posting consistent content? And I remember one of the first things I said to you guys was like, hey, you guys are pretty good on camera. Like, just do a reel every day. Just do one video. Just go out, take a camera out in the farm, just do a video. Just talk about whatever, right? And I think it was maybe, I don't know, your seventh or eighth video. That one has probably like 2 million views now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
2.7 as of
Oh my God.
And it's still growing. It's still growing. Wow. And that was like at least 2 months ago when you posted that. So again, like, maybe a little bit of luck, sure, right? But I mean, it's a great offer and great content. And, you got to know how to use the algorithms to your advantage, right? And it's partially that, and it's partially consistency, because you guys have not missed a day with video. And that was one of the things I said. I said that you will blow up at a certain point. I don't know what's going to happen. We can't exactly tell. But if you continue to post every single day, you're going to grow. You're not going to shrink. You're not going to stay where you are. Like, the only thing that can happen is you grow, because the algorithms reward when you post stuff. So it was that. It was getting, literally one ad set up. Maybe you have 2 or 3 variations of it, but it's one ad campaign. And then it was just sending more frequent emails, right? And it was those 3 things. And like, I don't know about you guys, but I see so much marketing stuff in the world. Everyone's got these crazy ass funnels and a million different things you got to do. And what I really love about what you guys have done is you've just stayed focused. You're like, fundamentals, implement every day, and not get distracted by a bunch of other bullshit, which a lot of people do, which is why they never grow. So kudos to you guys for being awesome clients and actually being like, we're going to do it. We're going to send emails. We're going to post. We're going to run these ads. And like, what else do you really need to do, right? Like, it's, you have your paid traffic covered, you have your organic traffic covered, so you have 2 acquisition sources, and then you have your retention on the back end.
I gotta say too, a huge part of being consistent with it and posting every day and doing the funnels the way we're talking about and everything, it really was like your guidance though. We don't have a lot of time to mess around and fail as some other businesses might. And so just knowing like, okay, I'm doing this, I know it's going to work, Orzy's telling me it's going to work, so I'm more able mentally to put the time aside to just do the thing I need to do, and then it's done for the day and it's good. Yeah. And the results just came with it. It was amazing to watch.
And I think it's worth saying for people that, to the results not typical point, you can't guarantee that you're going to go viral on video 7 or whatever, but that was like the 3rd week that we were working together. The first week when we set up the ad and we started posting every day and we were hitting the emails, we had already started to see results that we were like, we're thrilled. Just from hitting the basics, the stuff that you can absolutely control without any like, this video got 2 million views stuff. If it had just continued along at that pace, just slow, steady growth, having the confidence to take something that we thought was more of like a back end, bigger ticket offer and just make that our front end offer and run ads to it, and to see that people would just take it. There were people who would just come in through that ad and buy the offer. That in and of itself was incredible. And it's hard mentally because everything gets conflated into this one big jumble of what happened when that post went viral and all of a sudden we got tens of thousands of followers. But truly just doing the basics and executing on the basic strategy that Chris teaches was enough we would have doubled their business. We might have tripled their business. It wasn't necessarily going to be what happened, but it was enormously successful just at a base level.
I think your Instagram when we started was about 2,400 people, give or take, right?
Yeah, I would say even 22, 24.
What's it at today?
We'll hit probably by the end of the day 77,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, there's a lot of ranches out there. I'm in this space a lot, so I see a lot of these different, ranches all over the place. And there's some that have been around for years that are at like 70,000. They haven't even hit that.
Farms and ranches that we've been looking up to, and we're like, man, if we could just get 15,000 followers like they have, we'll be set. And then all of a sudden, we get a competent marketing system set up, and now we have more than all the farms we like. So
yeah,
our email list when we came in was like 14,000, and the first thing we did was scrubbed it and got it down to like 8, and now it's back up to 24,000.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's the thing. Like, if you guys were able to fulfill, you guys haven't even done daily email yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things where in time, we're not rushing it. Like, obviously, you guys are hauling ass over there, like, it's loading beef every day, just keeping up on that end of it. But like, in a few months from now, when all that's settled and then we start turning that on, like there's so much money in that database, not even for cow shares, for other, ancillary products, for bundles, for things like that. And what I always tell people about like the list growth and the audience growth stuff is like, yeah, it's tough, right? Like it's not easy necessarily. Like you got to do stuff, right? But it's a problem that you really have to just like solve once, and then like once it's solved, once you have the audience, I mean, you got to always continue to grow it. Obviously, there's churn and whatever, but to make a big like quantum jump like that, it solves a lot of problems and really it kind of builds a moat around your business. Like that's what you want. Like you want to have that security, and you guys have just done a fantastic job, so I'm proud of you guys. And it's only been about 3 months or so. I mean, we still have a whole another 9 months together. Everything's paid for essentially with all the sales you made. So now it's just going to be fun. It's just fun money at this point.
And that's truly like one of the biggest things I think for us is this is a stressful industry inherently. And now we have money, that moat of money you're talking about, like, and profit and clear direction and projections off of that. The like mental health of our whole business is also like, no one wants to speak about it or talk about that stuff so much out in the open. But now we're like just so much loose with our ideas, and we have tons of ideas for the future, and we can sell that stuff now. And added value products for a business like ours is like everything. And now we have this huge market for added value products that we can totally invest in now. And like just the stress levels have gone way down, way more stuff to do, way more stakes, I would say, no pun intended, because we have a huge customer base now, but so much less stress. And I think that's like, we're in the pocket now because of this. Like we're really able to feel it and grow the business the way we want, instead of being like our backs are up against the wall the whole time. And even if we didn't go viral, that would have been true just through the funneling, the newsletters and stuff. Like that was already going to be true. And now it's just a whole other. The viral is like the cherry on top, but everything else was already happening even without that. So it's incredible.
Like Jesse just said, it really changes your whole life in terms of the way you train yourself after years of running a small business, where you're trying to save every dollar, you're worrying about cash flow, you're like bobbing and weaving and trying to get through to the next day, or like when's the next payment coming, and you're worrying about that all the time. And then something like this happens and you have a strategy where you feel like you now have a predictable ability to create cash. For the first time, we feel like we're having these conversations all the time where we say to each other, oh, we can just do this. We can go out and buy this thing that we need, or invest in this thing, or the next thing will be hiring employees. Where for years we've been like, this would be great to have, but we have no idea if we're going to be able to make the return on this investment quickly enough. So the confidence that you get by having someone who can give you a proven system and it demonstrates so quickly, this is a big math equation now. You can spend money on ads, you can do the things you need to do every day, and you will produce more dollars in 30, 60, 90 days. It just frees up so much cognitive load that you had just worrying, the amount of time that we spent worrying but not productively fixing things. Marketing is hard. If you don't know what to do, then you don't know what to do. It's not always obvious how to best spend that time, but you still have it hanging over your head where you're like, we need to produce this amount of money. Can we make this investment? To have the basic calculus just change so quickly has been, honestly, it's hard. Like it's hard to change your mindset that quickly and be like, oh, we have to run our business. Our time versus cash equation in our heads has changed very quickly. We have to think about doing things.
And the cool thing is now we have all these new questions and new issues, and we have a marketing expert that we can just send a question to the group chat and get the response and talk it out. And it's nothing ever feels rushed. Nothing ever feels like you don't get pushed too hard. Like you said, like we're taking it slow, we're doing things organically or whatever, but also to have a marketing expert push you in the right direction and also be like, hey, did you get this done? Not in a condescending way, but in a like, these are the steps you need to take to grow the business way, is also very comforting. We have a question in the barnyard we both come up with, we can send it right over and it's answered and whenever we all have time to answer it. So that's just been huge.
Yeah, especially for you guys, because like you're not living in front of the computer. You're out there, send a voice memo on your phone. I get it. I might answer back immediately if I'm on a call call, if I'm at the gym or whatever, and I'll hit you back in 2-3 hours, like whatever, right? But it's fluid, it's nice. It's not like, sorry, you got to wait 2 weeks until our pre-scheduled call. And, like it just, I feel like it's nicer. It flows. It's like, you need help today, you get help today. You know what I
It's
mean?
great. Within 24 hours every time, even when he was at a wedding, Chris has gotten back to us with any question that we have. And like you said, for us, being the more successful we get, that means more time literally in a freezer, in a truck, out in the field. So being that fluid with how we can communicate, and we just send a voice memo or fire something off in the Signal group, is perfect for how we operate. It's hard to schedule a Zoom call. So we think that's the best things about working with you.
And I think many young business owners that are our generation across every industry prefer that kind of communication. Like, it's just the way our brains operate. It's the way Orzi thinks about it. And it's just meshes really well for what we needed. We didn't even know we needed that. And now it's like one of the biggest perks.
I'm just really proud of you guys also for, like, sometimes when your business starts scaling, you feel compelled to be like, I have to now live in front of the computer. And I was like that for many years with my business. And the computer will take every minute that you give it. You know what I mean? But I think the best marketing systems don't require that. I think that if you are going from an hour a day in the computer to now 10 hours a day in the computer, like, your business might be growing, but there's going to be a big sacrifice in terms of quality of life and other important things in life and in business. So what you guys have done very successfully is you've managed to scale your marketing and your cash flow and your revenue and your profit without having to scale the amount of time. That's what my goal is for everyone that I work with. Like, how do we put in, it's like an index fund, right? Like, the people talk about index. I always use this analogy of like index fund investing. It's like, if you just invest $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, whatever it is, and you keep that investment level static every month or on a yearly basis or whatever, like, you keep that static, but over time, the returns grow exponentially. So you have, the static investment, or I guess it's a linear investment over time, right? In terms of total value, but it's an exponential increase. So I'm like, how do we build marketing systems, emails like that? Like, an email, when your list went from 8,000 people to 24,000 people, it didn't take you 3 times as long to write an email. It still takes the same amount of time to write an email, but now you're getting 3 times or even 5 times or 10 times the amount of revenue and profit and effectiveness out of that time. So from an effective hourly rate standpoint, that increases. Same thing with the reels. Like, it doesn't take you longer to do an Instagram reel now than it did when you were 2,000. The same investment of time. And that's what good marketing is. Good marketing, what you guys are becoming very successful at doing, is like keeping that linear time investment and effort investment, but starting to see those exponential returns. So that's why I'm just pumped for you guys. I'm proud of you guys. And I'm so pumped that, this happened so early. We have so much time to still work together. I mean, maybe we'll do another one at 12 months, but you guys are kicking ass and you run a great operation, have great products. And I'm just proud of you guys. And I know this is only the beginning.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we feel that way too. And we can't be more grateful to you. And also, we already got new project ideas cooking that we want to bring you in on in the future that isn't even agriculture necessarily and all that kind of stuff. Because we've just been shown that you can operate across many different industries. If someone's got something to sell, you can get it out there for them. And you got nothing left to prove to us. This has been everything and more. I wouldn't have even imagined what we invested into this versus what we got out of it is just still blows my mind.
Awesome. Last question I have for you guys. If someone's on the fence thinking about work with me, what would you tell them?
I would say talk to you first. Just, you're great at hearing Orzi is great at hearing what you're actually saying or what you're actually trying to say, or even rewording those words to get to the bottom of what you're actually trying to accomplish. And I think a lot of people are on their high horse in a lot of industries when they're at this high level, they know what's best. And when we started working with you, it was immediate give and take. It was immediate. I want all your input. Let's devise this strategy together. I want you guys to be comfortable in this because we are the ones executing it at the end of the day. And so I would just say that any preconceived notions you have about marketing or anyone trying to sell you something, you just gotta talk to Orzi person to person, hash it out. I guarantee there's no way you leave that conversation thinking this guy can't help me or at least lead me in the right direction. It's just I am apprehensive to marketing type people. I feel like we're bombarded by sales, but talking to you one time is this guy gets it. He's speaking speaks our language. It's not, this is what you need. This is the organic part of it. It's not forced at all. So if I could recommend, I would say everyone should do it.
Yeah, I would say that I'm assuming that most of the people who are considering working with you one-on-one probably follow some of your other stuff. I had followed Chris's newsletter for about a year before we started working together and done a couple of his courses. I read them out. I was a fan. I can't tell you, if you're in that position, he is exactly the guy who you think he is. Like that's what you're going to get. And so if you like reading his stuff and you resonated with his content, it could not be a more clear choice to work with Chris. It's everything that you get in the other content, but with a personal touch. And like Jesse said, he's incredible at really thinking about you and your business, and even just like your voice and how you think about your business and what your unique, how you want to market. Every business is different. He really meets you where you are. And it's such a great experience to be able to work with him individually and to get that kind of treatment from a guy who you already know what he's about. You already know how he thinks about marketing. So we highly recommend it. It's our favorite payment to make every month is Orzi Day. I get to call our credit union and make a payment. So we love it.
I'm still getting that In Orzi We Trust sign for the barn office.
Yeah.
So we can slap it every time we come in.
There we go.
It's coming.
Can't wait to see it. Guys, what's the URL? Is dirtydogfarm.com?
dirtydogfarm.com.
We're going to get that.
Dog Farm.
Okay. At Dirty Dog Farm on Instagram, dirtydogfarm.com. We're going to have that linked up. We'll have the Instagram linked up and the website linked up. And guys, if you want awesome regeneratively raised meat from the Hudson Valley, which not many people know this, but the Hudson Valley, the soil in the Hudson Valley is actually very unique because of the amount of rainwater that it gets and the climate throughout the year, which makes it actually somewhat advantageous to some other parts of the country. And there are actually a lot of Michelin star restaurants who are starting to source their meat from the Hudson Valley in New York because of the high level of quality. It's like some of the best that you can get. So if you are looking for meat, check out Dirty Dog Farm. They have a lot of different options. If you want a half cow or a full cow share, they will buy you a freezer. That's the number one objection people get. It's like, I want to buy 400 pounds of meat, but I have nowhere to put it. It's like they've solved that problem. They will give you a freezer so you could store it, and it's a decent size, but it's not going to take up too much space. It's going to store everything that you need, and you will be able to get the benefit of some of the best meat in the country, most nutrient-dense meat in the country, and you're going to get an awesome price that is far more affordable, especially with all the inflation and groceries and everything else going on. It's going to be far more affordable and at a higher quality than anything you can get in your supermarket. So dirtydogfarm.com, check them out. Jesse and Josh, thanks so much. You guys are awesome, and you guys rock.
Thanks, Orzi. Love you.
Thanks, buddy.